Holy microwave meatballs, it's me again. And tonight, today I'm here to talk about hot women. Specifically, video game hot women. Now before I get any further with this, even though I sincerely believe I don't have to mention any of this, I will do it anyway just to play it safe. There is a major difference between the real-life attraction and a fantasy attraction. When you're attracted to someone in real life, the attraction comes from the hypothetical chance of you and the object of your attraction joining in a sexual intercourse, and you being very interested in that. However, when you're attracted to someone who doesn't exist in real life, of course you actually don't want that. You merely acknowledge how great these non-real beings are, and the fact that they can turn you on. There are much weirder things turning people on all the time, not to mention all those times when we get turned on for no apparent reason. So, I really see no shame in openly admitting that I do, in fact, find a lot of non-real beings attractive, in a fantasy way. Now that that is out of the way, let's just jump right into the list, shall we? Sindel from the Mortal Kombat series. Perhaps the most shallow pick on the list, which is probably why she's so low on the list, but I just had to include at least one MILF. And honestly, Sindel is the perfect definition of the word for me. No, seriously, the first thing that comes to my mind whenever somebody mentions the word MILF or when I see it somewhere is this. Honestly, she has all the qualities every good MILF should have. She has long, badass hair, she's evil, she doesn't wear much, and I imagine she's a pretty good singer. To put it simply, she's simply hot.
Come forward if you dare! I will finish what the Lin Kuei could not!
Julie Strain from Heavy Metal Fuck 2. First of all, does this game ever age? Will it ever age? What sorcery is this? Particularly that opening scene is still so damn impressive even by today's standards. Shit, son! Anyway, Julie. Ever since the first day I met her, she pretty much established herself as the more badass sci-fi version of Lara Croft. Spoilers! Yes, Lara Croft will also make an appearance on this list later on. Back to Julie. Why sci-fi fantasy is probably obvious, but why more badass, you ask? Well, frankly, wielding a freaking chainsaw sword is one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in my life anywhere. And the fact a sexy brunette happens to be the one wielding it just makes it all the more awesome and sexy. And Julie herself is just such a sweetheart. She's a strong, caring character who kindly reveals more and more of her bodily qualities as the game progresses. What's not to love? Side note, after playing the game for the very first time, I instantly checked what Julie looked like in the comic, and kudos to the developers for turning that into a model of attractiveness. Poison Ivy from Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. If Sindel was the most shallow pick on the list, Ivy just might be the weirdest one. Because green is not exactly the skin tone of my dreams, nor do I exactly crave dying upon the first kiss. And I also imagine that once all the phony smoke's gone, she's actually pretty stinky. But she's just so damn cool in both these games. She's laid back, doesn't take sides, doesn't take shit from anybody, and just does her thing, and she does it oh so well. She's basically a loner, which kinda makes her awkwardly relatable. Seriously, she has so little screen time in both these games. Sinfully little, I might add. And yet she's easily the most memorable female in the franchise. So memorable that she actually managed to temporarily block my memories of the horror that was this. That is no small achievement. As for her physique, well, think away all the green and all the poison and you're left with a really hot redhead. I guess your normal, average, sane male would rather choose Catwoman or Harley Quinn, but I was never very normal or sane. But that scene she shares with Catwoman in Arkham City though? Okay, how is my mind not supposed to go there? Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series. What? Such a hardcore classic Tomb Raider fan and Lara is only so low on your list? Well, you just answered your own question. I'm a hardcore classic Tomb Raider fan. And I think we can agree that Lara's model in the classic Tomb Raider games was not exactly the ideal object of anyone's wet dreams. Her model in the newer Crystal games certainly had more going for them, but she just really looked generic in those, I thought. Except for Underworld, where she didn't look like something that was born on Earth, really. The new reboot Lara almost had me. But then she opened her mouth. Yeah.
Sam, listen. I'm gonna get you out of there. I don't think I'm that kind of Croft.
If I don't survive, none of us will. Our crew is scattered. I have a bad feeling about this.
So which model am I talking about? Well, it should be pretty obvious by now, shouldn't it? The Angel of Darkness one. Where they finally said fuck you to all and any attempts at realism and just stylized the hell out of her to give her a truly unique, memorable look. Now don't get me wrong, she certainly had a unique, distinctive look, iconic even in the previous games, but yeah, that was all due to the outfit rather than her face. Now, her face in Tomb Raider 1 to 3 was nice, but any distinction it might have had was just flushed as soon as we came across Lara's evil twin sister in Tomb Raider 3. As for her face in Tomb Raider 4 and 5, that's just a big no. That looks just awkward and derpish. But yeah, no. In Angel of Darkness though, she looks like an emo without actually being one, which kind of makes her perfect. Dude. Yes, Mortimer?
Are you kidding me?
Why? What's wrong?
Angel of Darkness, Lara, yeah? The one with the most unrealistic curves in a non-attractive way. The one with the ears that look like seashells buried in mustard. The one with the longest, most narrow face. And most importantly, the one that shows no cleavage across the entire game.
Yes! Shut up and get over it, okay? Thank you. I realize all those complaints are completely valid and that this model may not really be visually appealing to some, but she also has a whole lot of character. She has the best, most attractive personality she ever had in the series. And she has that good old mystery going on around her. She's basically the kind of girl Crystal Dynamics tried to make, without all the super annoying stuff thrown in. She's essentially the good old classic Lara, made more human. She is still just as cold, independent, persistent, putting her interests first and foremost, but she also shows a lot of emotion. Not too much, just the right amount. Just the right amount to truly establish herself as an actually deep character. So, even though she might have the least human look in the entire series, she has by far the most human feel to her. And that logically makes her the most attractive one.
You're weird. I don't like you.
I can live with that. Miranda Lawson from Mass Effect 2 and 3. I never expected to grow so fond of this woman over time. but I did. She's in fact the most fascinating human female in this universe. Not that I'm a species or anything. When I first met her in Mass Effect 2, I didn't really like her at all. She seemed over too confident with, with her nose pointing way too up to the sky. I also was not a fan of her jawline. But the almighty writing in these games actually really made me care for her as I learned more and more about her. How she's rough on the outside, but actually really tender, affectionate, sincere, and not all that of a bitch, as she appears to be on the inside. Her whole backstory is pretty fascinating actually, and that's where she hit me in the feels. Even in real life, I get easily attracted to troubled girls who never had an easy life. I actually get the most attracted to those in real life, yes. And Miranda is exactly that, in a polygon form. And yes, her looks grew on me over time, eventually, and with them, I grew too. And of course, let's not forget that little cute fact: Miranda has by far the best sex scene in the game. Although it's still really nowhere near satisfying, but then again, nothing is really satisfying once you play The Witcher 2. Also, Ashley, girl, I liked you in the first game. I actually liked you a lot. But let's be honest here. Let's face the facts. You were nothing but a placeholder for Miranda. I kinda tend to think that was the developer's intention too. I mean, there's gotta be a reason why you only had such a brief appearance in the second game, right? And the third game? Why did you go through all those changes? First the Botox, then that stupid new haircut which just doesn't really work with your face at all, and what the hell is up with that futuristic Smurf costume? The moment I saw you like this, I knew that you must have somehow heard about my affairs with Miranda in the previous game, and thought to yourself, maybe if you looked more like her, there might be a chance of us getting back together. Well, nope. Focus now. What we had in the first game was really nothing but a short, rather boring one-night stand. You're just too bland, girl. Miranda is the Captain Fun Times.
Leave Ashley alone.
Blood Rain. Do I even need to explain myself here? She's a redhead. Latex is her favorite clothing material. Her blades are so sharp, even Gordon Ramsay is jealous. She can rock those bloody high heels like no other woman. And above all, she's a vampire. Actually a vampire, like half human, half vampire. Whatever, it's not important. She has pointed teeth and drinks blood. Done. And whenever she feeds, she does it in a very, very sexually suggestive way. And it always works all too well. At least on me. What's not to love? She also has those cute little thingies in her hair that just give you more to grab on and pull.
Dude! Ew.
What?
You pick.
I'm just a man. If that ain't enough to provide some quality wanking material for you lots. She actually slays Nazis in the first game. And in the second game, she's on a personal vendetta, and even though we don't really learn all that much about the big villain, you still can't help but root for her. Because she's just dreamy. Jeanette Vorman from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Talk about quality writing completely overpowering the appearance. Jeanette is basically a skinny, slutty blonde, which really isn't something I typically care for. But oh my god, she's written so well, so well. And more importantly, she's also voiced in such a way that just instantly makes you forget and not give a damn anymore about how she looks and what she likes to wear. Oh yeah, and she's also a vampire. Instant bonus points! Seriously though, Jeanette is a nutcase. The sexy kind. Yeah. She's the kind of woman you know you could never have if she was real. In fact, you wouldn't actually want her if she was real. Except for the fantasies. You would spend a lot of time with her in your fantasies. The ultimate wildest fantasies you will ever have, son. And that voice.
I'm the finger down your spine when all the lights are out, and the name on all the mainstream walls. When I pout, the whole world tries to make me smile, and everyone always wants to know who is that girl.
Her fist of the release was so much better.
Shut up! Don't you dare spoil anything. I got you. Samantha Everett from Grey Matter. It's funny just how much I am willing to forgive and forget as soon as a girl just fulfills one of my long-time dreams. Samantha is the perfect example of that. A very unlikable character at first, but as soon as I noticed that spade tattoo on her breast, I knew we were on the right track. And then BAM! She's a magician. Truly passionate about her hobby too. There just aren't enough female magicians out there in the real world, let alone the virtual one. Besides, Samantha is actually a knockout. She's almost perfectly my type, if I think away all that mess on her face. No, really, I do like me some piercing here and there, but that is a bit too much for my taste. Also, looking at her face only makes me think about other places she might have had pierced, and let's just say I don't really care for anything metal around those corners. Although I guess it's effective in its own way, since it just instantly makes my mind go down those places. And again, as a character, she's strong, independent, pretty adventurous, persistently chasing after her dream. She's also pretty clever, as most women of this genre are. But the other women just aren't magicians. Kate Archer from the No One Lives Forever series. I could simply say Kate Archer is the perfect female version of James Bond and be done with this. And I shall, yes.
Lazy bastard!
Ms. Archer here, who has demonstrated an alarming lack of competence in the field.
You can say what you please about me, but if you speak ill of Bruno again, I'll demonstrate my alarming lack of competence on your thick skull.
Angel from Quickly Arena.
What?
Nothing.
You're living a sad life in that corner, Mortimer. Actually, my number one is my last character in Skyrim. I know, it's a pretty cheap shot, and hello, Skyrim is notoriously known for the amazing world at the cost of poor writing. Every test game is, really. But Skyrim is immersive, really immersive. And therefore, it was actually really easy for me to just imagine all the best personality traits for this character. In my mind, she's a dog person, a horse whisperer, a master chef, a brave warrior, the best archer in the world, half vampire, but also a tender little gentle flower when needed, and a bisexual. And in my mind, she sounds just like Kate Archer. Yeah, she's British. Also, her name is Andrea. Now mind you, the last time I played Skyrim, and therefore the time I made this character, was way before all the fancy mods that are out there now. So if I was to play Skyrim now with some of those mods and create the character now, she probably would look a bit different, but not too different really. I actually put a whole lot of effort into her visually, since I knew I would spend at least 100 hours with her. 114 hours it was, specifically. And since I created her myself, it's actually quite understandable why she made the top of my list, no? In my mind, she's like a flawless combination of all the women on this list. Oh yes, she's also a MILF. She just looks really young because she's been living an extremely healthy lifestyle. We connected so well. I actually wished I could just mirror myself in the game. I never wished for something like that before or after, ever. That's certainly no small achievement right there. Okay, that was my top 10 video game hotties. I thank you for watching if you did. I apologize if I offended you in any way. But if I did, you're probably an idiot if you got offended by any of that. Sorry. And do stay tuned for my future videos. See you later! What?
You're a sick weirdo. Angel of Darkness, Lara. Really.